Yo, what's up, Brev? Welcome back. Jamie here today, and I'm going to be reviewing Scream 6 spoiler review, so you've been warned. And I gotta say straight up, like, I was hyped for this film going in. I'm a fan of 5 as well, but it's let me down, really. It definitely did. Like, it's not a bad film, it's not the worst of the series, but it's going to rank down at the bottom for me, no doubt. The writing fell off to me. I don't know what it is about. We'll go more into detail in a bit, but throughout the film, like, it was a great opening, don't get me wrong. There's great kills as well as some good characters, but the writing just fell off. And throughout the film, I was just like, I'm not feeling this. And then especially the end with the killer reveal and the whole overreacting thing. And we'll get into it when we get into it. But overall, yeah, this film, man, we'll get into the detail now, but I'm definitely let down by this film. I guess it's partly my fault for hyping it up so much, but at the same time, it's like, you could have done so much better in this. So yeah, let's just get started. Like I said, it's going to be spoilers throughout this review, so if you've not seen the film or you don't care, carry on. So the opening kill is Samara Weaving. She's inside a bar waiting for a date, and she gets a call from the date, and he's lost, so she goes outside into an alley, and basically she gets killed. But the shocking part is, Ghostface reveals himself at this point. And obviously it's a character we don't know, it's the first time we're seeing him, but that's never happened before. We've had a reveal within the first, 5-10 minutes of the film. So then we're following him. He goes back to his apartment. He's apparently living with someone, and they've got all memorabilia from the stab films with the ghost face mask and everything like that. So he calls his partner while he's watching Jason Takes Manhattan, but it's the ghost face voice. He's like, why using the voice? And they mention Richie, that they're trying to finish the film that Richie wanted to make. But this guy basically gets killed by Ghostface, and it's not his partner, because his partner's inside the fridge all cut up to pieces, just like Friday the 13th Part 2 in a way. So this Ghostface with the rotted mask kills him, and he's like, who cares about fucking movies anymore, / title card. From there we get reintroduced to our main characters. Sam's inside therapy trying to deal with what happened last year inside the last film. But she gets reported by the therapist because she's saying like, oh, it felt good, and she's sort of like, you know, going into those urges a little bit because her dad's Billa. So she gets reported to the police because of that. Tara's busy inside college with Mindy and Chad, so that's where they are. This film basically, it's like Scream 2 redone in a way, which, you know, some of it's good, but some of it's bad. It's like, I understand, like, you know, referencing the past and all that, but it literally feels just like a copy and paste in a way, which we'll get more into later. There's this theory that's been started online that Sam is responsible for the killings from Scream 5. You know, there's all subreddits and stuff like that going into conspiracy theories that she's the actual mastermind. So she's having to deal with that, with people like accusing her and stuff like that. They get questioned by Detective Baylor, who's the old guy you've seen inside the trailers, and straight away he's suspicious, and of course he ends up being one of the killers, of course he does. But throughout this whole film, like, especially later on when you see the shrine and you realise that using actual like masks and weapons from the crimes, you're like, well, clearly someone inside the police is involved in this. They try and play it off later like, oh, you know, they must have just bought it off police officers or whatever. But you throughout this whole film, you're like, well, they're using all these masks. Clearly it's someone inside the police, and it's either this Bailey guy or it's Kirby. They're the two main suspects, really, and Kirby's not even been introduced at this point yet. But on the way out from being questioned, they get a call from Richie, who obviously died inside the last film. It's still his number. She answers, and it's Ghostface, and they get attacked inside the broad. They get attacked inside the street, so they run for cover inside the shop, and that's the scene that we've seen from the trailer, where Ghostface nearly gets shot at, but somehow he avoids it, and he uses a gun for the first time, which is pretty badass. And they're like hiding inside the shop until eventually they distract him to get out. Sam pushes like one of the aisles down on him. The police arrive, and somehow he just gets up and leaves straight away through a locked door that quick, and leaves behind another mask, which is something to do inside this film as well. Each time someone gets killed, there's a mask left behind from the past, and they're going in the order. I think it starts at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they're counting down. So after this, we get Kirby introduced. She's working for the FBI now. After being stabbed and surviving, she died for 4 minutes, and now she wants to hunt down the monsters instead of being afraid of them. So it's a good character. I'm glad Kirby's back. Kirby's one of the positives of this film for me. Kirby, Sam and Tara, and the kills, I guess, they're the best parts about this film. But like I said, the masks keep getting left behind in the order that they, well, the opposite order. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Outside, Sam and Tara get confronted by Gail, who's reporting once again, and she wrote a book about the murders. It's like the last film, she's like, I'm not going to write about this, I'm going to write about Dewey or something like that. But nope, she went back to writing about the murders again, and Sam goes to punch her, but she avoids it, but then Tara gets to punch it instead, so Gail gets punched once again. Sam's therapist is killed in a cool way. Ghostface comes up to the window, smashes through, and just keeps smashing his head off the door, basically. He goes in and he robs the file of Sam's, you know, history and stuff like that. The 4 characters from the last film bond. Chad comes up with a nickname, the core 4, you know, Chad, Mindy, Sam and Tara. Sam's been seeing this guy who lives across the way from him inside the apartment, and they all find out about that. There's also like other characters, but really they're just there to die really anyway, aren't they? I think they lived like 5 of them inside this apartment or something like that. But one of them's called Quinn, the redhead girl. She gets killed off screen, and then Ghostface attacks them again. They have to use the ladder to climb across to Sam's new boyfriend's place. But one of them, obviously Ghostface is there, is, you know, rocking the ladder. One of them falls to the death and hits the face off the dumpster, which is pretty cool kill in a way. Somehow Gale finds the abandoned theater where the shrine's set up, even though Kirby wasn't able to find it. And this is what I'm saying, like, as soon as you start seeing this as well, you're like, well, this is all evidence. Like, literally, there's kill items in here, there's masks, there's what they were wearing, there's the TV that killed Stu. And also, there was a board as well, I forgot this bit. There was a board where they're putting up all the previous killers, and it does confirm that Stu's dead, because it says death 1996 with Billa. But technically, I mean, especially later on, which we'll find out, they could do a thing where, you know, Stu's parents covered it up, because that literally happens inside this film. Which we'll get into in a bit. Gail gets a call and attacked inside her apartment. She's with someone new. It's literally been a year since Dewey's death, and now she's with someone new with muscles, but that didn't do anything because Ghostface just kills him easily. And they have a conversation on the phone. Gail's got a gun, but she ends up getting stabbed multiple times, and you think, oh, this is going to be it, they're going to kill Gale, but no, she's still got a pulse, so she survives. So they should have killed Gale instead of Dewey inside the last film, but it's too late for that now. So they decide to set up a trap at the theater. They're going to lure Ghostface in and lock him in there. They get on the train. Mindy and the other guy, who I don't remember his name, but you know, he is important to the story because he ends up being one of the killers. I've got his name now, but them two end up getting left behind on the train, so they take another one, and Ghostface slowly like makes his way up to her and stabs her inside the gutter when the lights keep going out. No one looks around. Well, it's New York, I guess they don't care, but still, it's a crowded place and he just gets away. Bailey calls Sam and Tara and says Kirby's been taken off the FBI and that she's the killer, so everyone starts suspecting Kirby because they've been locked inside the theater at this point. And this is a cool scene. Chad gets attacked by a ghost face and another one just comes out and they both just start stabbing him to fuck, and you're like, well, Chad's clearly dead here, but of course he survives as well. He's the new doer. But this scene of just two ghost faces going at it, man, it was so sick to see. And they both do the knife wipe as well, which is great. So the sisters get confronted. Bailey comes in. It looks like there's a ghost face about to stab him, but he stops, and Bailey ends up being the mastermind of this, and the other two killers are revealed to be his daughter and son. Quinn was killed off screen, and he says, oh, I switched the bodies out with someone new because he's a cop, obviously. So it's like, well, that could have happened with Stu as well then. They could have replaced the body, but, you know. And this whole reveal, they're overreacting, you know, the same typical monologue, and it's obviously the family of Richie. This is Richie's dad, brother, and sister, and they want revenge on Sam for killing him last year. And it's like, why has it always got to be family shit? Why couldn't have this been Stu's dad or something like that? Like, I know I'm not fully expecting Stu to be the killer. That's not the reason why I hate this film. You know, as a hope, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. But it's like, this is just the same shit over and over again. And it's literally just a copy of Scream 2, but instead of, you know, Billy's mum, it's Richie's dad this time. It's like, wow, it was so ridiculous. And they're all overreacting, of course. But eventually Sam kills two of them. Tara kills the other one. And then they end up walking away. They tease Sam becoming a killer. Billy's in it side as well. You know, Billy, you know, she sees visions of Billy again. She has the ghost face mask, but she ends up putting it down. And this pissed me off even more. I was reading online, there's a post-credit scene. So we wait for like 5 minutes for the credits to finish, and it's just Mindy saying like, oh, no one cares about post-credit scenes. It's like, for fuck's sake, that was a waste of time then, wasn't it? But overall, Scream 6, man, like I said, I was disappointed with this. I know I hyped myself up a little bit too much for it, but I was a big fan of Scream 5, and I'm expecting, you know, this to carry on. Like I said, the kills are amazing. Kirby is a good character. I do like the interaction between her and Mindy when they're like quizzing each other and what's your favorite horror film and all that. Sam and Tara do carry this film. The relationship between them two is really good. They should have killed off Mindy and Chad, or at least one of them. They definitely should have killed off Gale, but no, they didn't kill any of them off. They just killed off the new characters, really. That was it. So overall, I think I'm going to give Scream 6 a 6 out of 10, to be honest. It's not the worst of the franchise for me, that's still Scream 3. But I feel like, you know, obviously Scream 1's the best. I love Scream 5, Scream 4, Scream 2. And then I'd probably put this down there, you know. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll end up liking it more. But even throughout it, like, the opening was great, like I said, but then I was like, there's something feels off with this film, the writing or something. And we get to the reveal and it's just the same old shit. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. What did you think of Scream 6? Apparently they've already greenlit Scream 7, so we're gonna have the, you know, result of this trilogy coming up maybe next year. But maybe if I watch it again, I'll enjoy it more. I'll have to, you know, give it a second viewing and see. But like I said, man, I was hyped for this film. I am a big Scream fan. I was just expecting more. Like, I'm not bothered that Stu's not the killer. I would have liked that, yeah, but you know, that doesn't completely take me out of it. It's the fact it's just rinse and repeat. It's just the family of Richie coming back for revenge, and it's like, you could have done anything. Like, you could have just done someone who's not motivated by anything. He just, you know, literally just killing. It's like, okay, well, at least that's something different. But they always have to tie it back with the family and stuff like that. And now we're just going to repeat all the same stuff with these new characters that we did with the originals. I'm guessing Scream 7's going to, like, pay homage to Scream 3 then, and I guess. And, you know, the long lost brother's just going to come out of nowhere. Is that what they're going to do? But yeah, man, this was disappointing. Despite the Scream 6, like I said, 6 out of 10. Not the worst of the franchise though. But yeah, hopefully I don't get too much hate for this opinion. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, peace out in a bit.